Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Now today I'm going to be reviewing a New Order album. I just really felt like doing one of their albums, so I will be taking a look at their record Low Life. So I'll just be doing the usual thing in this video, giving a bit of background information about the album, then showing you my vinyl copy, and then looking at each of the album songs in detail. So this was the group's third album, released on the 13th of May in 1985. Kind of like where it felt like in like the career, like it was a sort of like a transitional record, I felt like the band, like in some ways, because it retained the sort of post-punk elements like off like their like previous work, like sort of like guitar sort of driven sort of dance rock like sort of sounds like which they had like on Movement and like Power Corruption and Lies, like a little more sort of like slightly darker sort of post-punk like sort of like I would sort of like use the word gloomy, but sort of like like more sort of serious sound like to the music. However, it also showed the more sort of growing dance and house influence like songs like which like they would like later develop like on albums such as Technique. So definitely on this record they were making a conscious effort to develop themselves musically and like move away like from like the ghost of their Joy Division. Also around this time their commercial fortunes were growing, particularly like in like America, like where they had signed to Warner Brothers Records, and like also the fact that like they issued a single from this album, which was very significant because it was the first time like Joy Division, like a New Order, like had ever issued a single like from one of their albums. Like all like their other singles like have been standalone releases. So maybe that shows that the band was sort of like maybe aiming like for sort of like greater like pop success. Like some fans like were like probably starting like to drop out like around at this point, like sort of saying like the band was maybe like sort of like selling out like to sort of like commercial success. Like whether like on the other hand like they were probably getting like a lot more like newer fans like who like didn't even really know about Joy Division like or like New Order's previous work. So it was a very well received album. It peaked at number 7 in the UK charts, but only got to number 94 like in like America, like despite them being signed to a major label. So yeah, I will just show you my vinyl copy now, and this is a original one on Factory Records, or an original UK pressing. And I've always loved this cover here. This is quite a special packaging like as well. It comes with this sort of tracing paper thing like on it, like which I've shown this like in like my last vinyl update. Like, but yeah, it just gives it like a really sort of like unique feeling like to the artwork. Also notably as well, this was the first ever release by New Order, and like I think like their only release actually to feature photos of the band members. So we've got Stephen Morris there, like on the front, like looking like rather glum, but sort of like really sort of perfectly sort of encapsulating like what like this music like is like all about and like what it sort of feels like. You've got like his partner Gillian Gilbert like on the back there, plus the track listing, and then on the inside which has got like the inner sleeve with Bernard Sumner there and Peter Hook on the back. There's no lyric in or with this one though, and it's just on a rather plain white Low Life Factory label. But this is a brilliant pressing. Like these Factory pressings, they sound absolutely great. So yeah, like really very pleased to have like this copy of it. So yeah, I will now go over each of the album songs. There's not too many tracks in there, there's only 8 songs, but I will score each track out of 10, and then those scores will be used to give us a overall percentage marking for the album. So it kicks off with a song called Love Vigilantes, which I absolutely love this song. This is a very different sort of sound like for New Order, like a more sort of like rock-based sound like on this one here, like with a sort of like harmonica riff, like sort of like driving the song, like as well as like a acoustic guitar like being prominent instruments. Lyrically, it's also quite different from them as well. Like it follows very much like a linear like narrative. This song like about a soldier returning home like from like a war and like sort of like wishing like to see his family. I really think the band like sound absolutely full of confidence like on this song, like especially like Bernard Sumner's vocals, which sound very strong, very confident. Yeah, it's just a great way to kick off the album. Yeah, like definitely a song which isn't sort of characteristic like of New Order, but what I think still is one of their best songs there. Love Vigilantes would get a 10 out of 10 from me. And then we're kind of taken to what is sort of now I would say the classic New Order sound for the next song, The Perfect Kiss, which is another great song. Interesting like lyrics like on this one. Again, a little bit more like ambiguous this one. I don't think Bernard like has ever said like what they are like about. However, the actual track itself is just so creative. There's great like instrumentation on it. You've just got like these really like sort of like interesting like arrangement choices included, and I think like the suggestion like of Stephen Morris, like there was these like frogs like on like the middle bit, as well as like they sort of like got a bit of cowbell like in there. It's just a really well constructed song, which actually like I would say like this version like on here like is only a I think it's about a 4 to 5 minute single edit. The 12-inch version is just as good. It's about 10 minutes and it really doesn't drag. It just shows New Order really perfected the art like of like the 12-inch sort of like extended single. Unfortunately though, it wasn't a massive commercial success for them. It only got to number 46 in the UK charts. A bit disappointed like considering like at this point like they already had sort of like achieved like mainstream success like with songs like Blue Monday. Like whether it is still a really great song there. The Perfect Kiss, another 10 out of 10 for me. And then the album kind of slows down a bit. We go like into like a different gear, like with the next song called This Time of Night, which is a more sort of darker, low-key piece, and really like sort of Peter Hook's bass like really drives like the song along. I mean, it isn't quite as memorable as some of the other ones like on the album, but you know, it is really nice to get like this sort of like slower track like at this point like on the album. Like so yeah, like it does its job like quite effectively, this song. But then to close off the first side, we get one of my favourites on the album, and it's called Sunrise. And this song, I just absolutely love. I love how it starts off with this very mysterious bass and synth part, like it's quite sort of slow and like sort of thinking, okay, where's this gonna go? And then kind of like the beat picks up, we get some really like aggressive sort of like punky like guitar like on it. It's just a very powerful like rocking track, like New Order like really showing like they haven't forgotten like how to be like a rock band, and yet it's still a very atmospheric song. And although this song, it is a more extended piece, again about 6 minutes long, the energy level is just absolutely immense like throughout the track, and like definitely like wants like repeated listens. Like it's not one like where you get like to the end of the 6 minutes and think oh like I won't play that for like another like couple like weeks or months. Like it's kind of one like which like you'll get to the end of it and think, God, I want to hear that one again. So yeah, like Sunrise, a great song there, another 10 out of 10 for me. Okay, and then the second side opens up with an instrumental song, which for me is the only sort of misstep like on the album. It's called Illegal. I think that's how you say it. And as I said, it's like an instrumental piece, a little bit more sort of darker, more sort of like gloomy. This one here, like there's no real sort of like melody, like a chorus to it. Like it's more sort of like it's more like an atmospheric sort of piece. And like the band like have said that this was a tribute to their late bandmate Ian Curtis, like with like the title Illegal being Greek for elegy. And like also another wee fact about this one, it originally ran for 17 minutes. Thankfully though, they did cut it down to about 5 minutes. However, for me, I still think it's too long. However, I know a lot of New Order fans really disagree. A lot of people say this is their favourite song like on the album, and like if you're into more this sort of like ambient sort of music, then definitely like I can see why like this would be like your favourite. For me personally, it doesn't do too much for me, so I would give it a 6 out of 10 for that one. Oh, you know what I mean. And then we get another really solid album song called Sooner Than You Think, which is yet another just a really great song. I like how the percussive sort of like introduction to this like sort of like nicely transitions like from like the last song. I really like the sound like off like the synthesizer parts. It's just again like all this album is very well produced. I like the chorus to this one, is very melodic. I mean, for me though, it maybe doesn't quite stand out as much as some of the other songs such as Perfect Kiss or Sunrise or like the last two songs like which we'll get to. I like it does very much have the tried and tested New Order sort of style and like signature sound around it. But yeah, I would still say that it is a wonderful song there, so we give it a 8 out of 10 for Sooner Than You Think. One of these days you'll go back to your home. Okay, now the penultimate song was another one of the singles taken from the album, and it's called Subculture. So yeah, this is another really great song. Another like slightly another slightly longer piece. This one here, and like lyrically, it's kind of about sort of like loneliness, like isolation. It is, like I said, quite a long song. However, the chorus line, like which Bernard Sumner sort of like repeats like towards the end, it really has a sort of like hypnotic sort of quality to it. Like it doesn't sort of get like sort of boring like or like repetitive. Like it just sort of like you can very much like lose yourself like in this song. As I said, this was also one of the singles from the album, and it fared even worse than The Perfect Kiss like as a single, only reaching number 63 on the UK charts. Apparently though, that could have been due to the fact that like the remixed version like which it put out like as a single like wasn't all that great. Like apparently like Factory's sleeve designer Peter Saville like hated like the remix and refused to design like a sleeve for it, like thus like the single came out basically just like in like a plain black sleeve. So that maybe could have had like something to do like with its like lack of success. But the actual album version itself, like of Subculture, like which we got on here, I think is another great song, another one of New Order's best. And then we finish the album with probably my favourite song on the record, which isn't probably a common opinion. I have heard people say that this song's sort of filler. It is a little bit like annoying, like repetitive. Like I've heard like a lot of like sort of like like negative things like said about this song. But for me, it is my personal favourite. It's called Face Up, and I just love everything about this song, really. Kind of like just from like the sound like off like the song, like sort of like the way it builds up, like sort of like the introduction of it, like which lasts about like 40 seconds. It just builds the tension so well, but then like we suddenly get like sort of like Morris's drumming sort of come in, and like the synth part sounds like so great, and then Hookie's playing like some like great bass like on it. It's just everything what's great about New Order for me summed up like in one song. Lyrically, I really like the track as well. Like it's about sort of like the end like of a like relationship, and like not sort of and like not being able to bear like the thought like of like a former lover, like whether that sort of like slightly darker lyric like is sort of juxtaposed like by like the very euphoric nature like of like the musical arrangement. Now my only complaint with this song, and like I don't often say this like about songs, but I actually wish that this one was a bit longer, because I think like this ends the album really well, like but it fades out just too soon for me. Like I could have done like with like that chorus like repeated like a few more times personally, but you know, as it is, I still think it is a perfect song there, a great way to finish a great album. So yeah, that has been my review of New Order's Low Life. So overall, it would score 90%. So yeah, an absolutely great score for it. One of the best albums of the 80s, I would say we have right here. It's just got a great mix of sounds, styles, sort of like lyrical themes, and like also like musicianship like as well. Like the band really sort of like pulled together like on like this album, like but also like there are moments like for each member like to shine, like from like Hookie's like bass playing, like which very much like takes like a forward seat like in like most like of the songs. A very like unique bass player like Peter Hook was, also like Stephen Morris's drumming is just so like energetic, and like Sumner's guitar playing and like vocals like are like really great like as well, and like Gillian's like keyboard parts like just contribute like a really nice like atmosphere like to this album. So yeah, it's just a really sort of like the sound of a band like pulling together, just sort of like playing like on like their strengths, but also like developing their sound like as well. And I'd also say it's quite remarkable like how this album for me really hasn't dated like at all. Like I could pretty much like when like I sort of like first played this album like a few months back, I really could have been like forgiven like for thinking like it was like one of like the latest like releases like on like the charts, and like because it doesn't sound like 80s like at all. Like it doesn't sound sort of like it doesn't sound trapped like in like that time. It still sounds like sort of like really fresh and like sort of like modern and like forward thinking. So yeah, a great album here from New Order, one which I would definitely recommend like everyone like to check out. Like even if like you don't think like you're into sort of like dance music, because I'm certainly not. Like I don't like sort of house music or sort of like dance club music generally, but I think New Order kind of do it so well or like do it like in like a slightly different way, like what really makes me like appreciate it like a lot. So yeah, that's my review of Low Life. So I hope you have enjoyed this review, and I will see you all next time for the next one. Goodbye.